Guten Morgen, Guten Morgen. That was an old polka song. In German means have a good day, which it really doesn't. It actually means good morning. But okay, in the last couple days, there's been quite a bit of progress. Let me just scan through here real quick. These shots, the inking was cleaned up a bit. This shot was completely redone. This shot was completely redone. And so the last thing I did was Mr. Big. And what actually I did was this shot right here, which I'm not going to completely unpack it, but there's the last couple days have been this shot, which I did in Krita, and now I have this as source material to go back and take some of the earlier shots of Mr. Big and just redo them a little bit better. And then yesterday I took this shot, which used to be okay, how do I turn this off? I have to say, okay. So it used to be a little eyeball, and now it's just a checkbox. I think that's a bad decision, but okay. I have to say that considering that we're a week away from release of Blender 2.8, I'm not real super impressed. But I'll get to that in a minute. So anyway, I did this shot, and then I did this shot yesterday, and now what I'm going to do is go back and do Mr. Big's walk cycle. So that's what you see going on here. So I blocked in the walk cycle, gave him a little bit of a limpy thing going on, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in some in-betweens today. So, but as far as what I was saying about, actually, let me go to the walk cycle here. There's so much to redo. But it is fun. I mean, I'm having a good time. So, here we go. Okay, that's the shot I'm redoing, which I'm sure you will agree with me is indescribably awful. So, okay, what was I saying about Blender? Here's the thing. Okay, so Blender 2.8, whee! It's going to be released in a week. In fact, for all I know, today might be the day, because I might have downloaded the pre-release, 2 days before the official date. I don't even know, but I downloaded it. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do the next shot that I do in Blender. Something I'm going to draw Mr. Big, his big football head and his little ornery eyes. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do the shot, maybe do the shot in Blender 2.8. So I'm cranking along, and all of a sudden I realize, well, I need to do some inking, and I go to change my brush, which for the last year in all the alpha and beta releases, there's been a menu bar right here where you can change brushes, change the the line thickness, things like that. It's gone. Okay, so to be clear, gone. The menu bar the menu bar is gone. So I'm like, so it just happens that the first shot that I want to do in Blender 2.8 happens to require me to be able to switch brushes. And so I'm going along and I'm looking at all the little icons. I'm like, what the heck am I missing here? Well, I'm checking the menus. I'm looking at the options. I'm looking at I'm looking everywhere. I can't find it. So I go online and I post something, and of course I search forums, and most of the questions you can find are like from 2015 and blah blah blah. So basically the upshot of the story is that I was hoping with the pre-release version of 2.8, and I granted I may be missing something really obvious. I may be an idiot. It could be that the answer is right before my eyes and I'm not seeing it. But what I do know, it could be one thing I didn't even look at is along here, but kind of commonsensically, I'm thinking, maybe there's something. Maybe I'll find it right now. But I'm a little mystified. Don't know how to tweak the parameters of my brush, or more importantly, just switch brushes. I'm right mouse clicking on these guys, trying to. Anyway, so there you go. You understand the problem. The menu bar that lets you tweak your drawing tools is gone after being in place consistently for a year. A week before the release of Blender 2.8, the toolbar is gone. And I'm sure that there's some really, really, really brilliant reason why changing that now was a great idea. However, I don't know what that reason is, and I have work to do. So, there it is. So Blender 2.8 is back on the, how do I say this? Back on the list of stuff I'm not particularly wanting to deal with. Was there a little flashy thing there? So anyway, so this is the actual pace of the walk, roughly. And what I could do is I could just ink it on 4s. Truthfully, that would probably be okay, but I prefer not. I do prefer to keep everything on 2s. So one thing that's confusing me a bit here is the onion skins are really, really dark. So I'm going to go ahead and pop open the onion skins docker, and it's up in a different window, but the basic issue here is that I need the frames to be a little darker so I can bloody well see them. And I believe so this is what I'm tweaking right now. I'm just tweaking the onion skins settings. Kind of interesting. I've actually never done this before. I've never had to tweak the onion skins in Krita. I guess we'll go with that. That's reasonably easy to see. I don't know. Yeah, that's a bit messy, isn't it? Alright, so let's go back to our onion skins docker. And it would definitely be nice if the onion skins were based only on keyframes, not frames. Because generally that's what you're wanting to work with. Okay, so when I let go with my mouse, the onion skins show up. Okay. So while you're scrolling, they don't unless they do. So that means that they do if they've been cached. So now that I just did that playback and all these little gray bars, alright, it's still not the case. Okay, that's interesting. In a way, that's kind of cool, I guess. So what it looks like is going on here is if I'm clicked in the layer, I see the onion skins. If I click up here in the header, I don't unless I do. Yeah, that is definitely a little strange. But not a deal breaker. Okay, so what I want to do is go. The next keyframe is here. So as near as I can tell, folks, it appears to me that my whole onion skin adventure is working against me more than for me. So I am going to simply kind of sort of switch it back to what it was. Okay, so mostly through this part of the story, what I'm gonna do is pretty much use the selection and animate tools. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I guess I probably shouldn't have done that. What I should have done is copied the keyframe so I can then edit it. So if I go to the next one, there's his foot here and there's his foot there. So whoops, S key and A key to get me a tween. Okay. So now I don't want to go too far. Yeah, see. Okay, so on this keyframe, what I need to do, probably should zoom out just a little bit here so I can select what I need to select, but basically what I'm going to do is cut this sucker into pieces like that so that I can just do these tweens one at a time. And okay, so there's, I don't know if you'd call that a passing position or what, but okay. So most of the action here is going to be in the on that leg. Okay. I would say that actually this frame, which is one of the original keyframes, probably should be tilted in just a little bit. Okay, so let's just go here. Yeah, that's not too bad. So we have a tween here, and we can see on the next shot his foot still remains in the same, his left foot still remains in the same position. So therefore we should be able to, I'm going to actually go take this keyframe backwards. Alright, and then I'm going to grab all of this, everything except that foot, so that I can then anchor on that foot and have him lean into the step. Yeah, that actually came out quite nice. Okay, here I assume we're going to have, we're rocked back on the rear foot. Here we're rocked back on the forward foot. There we're actually putting weight on it. So I would say that probably this foot needs to at least be close to landing and bearing weight. Okay. So there it is. And gosh, I need to turn the onion skins off so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Although I think his foot shrank a bit there. Okay. So now let's play this part back. Yeah, not too bad. So I'm going to just, since we're almost on the foot there and we're not there, this almost needs to be a straight tween, almost like a ridiculously straight tween. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look at his heel right there. Well, no, it wouldn't be his heel. It'd actually be his toe as the anchor point. I'm just going to go like that. Okay, here we've got a situation where we're, okay, there he's fully landed and there he's not. And there really isn't too much movement. So I'm going to say, let's grab this, rotate it a little bit and put it back. Let's grab this and just bring it back a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now he's landed on his foot, and there he's stepping up. So this tween, again, I'm going to go take the last shot, and that way I can just toggle between this one and see what I'm doing without necessarily needing onion skins. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to take this and just delete it. Turn on my brush. A little bit of a floopsy, I would say, with his cloak there. Okay, now I think this is kind of questionable, so I'm gonna change my mind on this. This idea of giving Mr. Big a limp was actually just a concession to the fact that the way I had drawn him made him look like he did have a limp. It wasn't because we actually thought it was a great idea for him to have a limp. Not that it would be a bad thing. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so he's all stretched out there, so I'm just going to insert a key here and turn on the onion skins so that this shot, so there he's okay, bottom of foot, front of foot. Okay, here kind of just a copy, really. Okay, okay, so this would be kind of pressing against his shin because of the force, I mean presumably of his foot going forward. Okay, so here, let's put a straight tween. And let's just kind of put in between. Now let me see how it's looking. Okay, honestly, that kicking up right there that I suggested is sort of a limpy thing. I would say I have mixed feelings about it. It's not bad, but it's not great. So let's put a tween here that's, again, going to be just a straight tween. There we go. I think for the rest of this we probably can, well, I was going to say we could do straight tweens, but actually it looks like we can't. So here, what we want to do, again, is probably lean this back just a little bit. Now let's look at where he was here. Okay, so this kind of dragging in there. Okay, this leaning thing, or leaning back thing, did not work. He needs to be leaning forward because frankly he lost his momentum and we don't want that. So here I'm actually going to do the same thing. I'm going to push it forward just a little bit. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, he's really anchored there. So what we want to do is say, what do we need to add to this shot here, or this frame, to make it work? And here it seems to me that we're again in sort of a leaning in situation. So save that. Okay, so the only thing I really have a problem with at this point, I would say, is this. Okay, so we have kind of a stupid tween. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's grab this. Just get rid of that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so now there's some ambiguity, I would say, between front and back foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some blue here, and to save myself some frustration later, I'm just going to go ahead and make a clear indication of his left foot. I've ran into this issue before when I did the previous unsatisfactory walk cycle, where I chalk it up to mild dyslexia, where I absolutely lost track of which foot is left and which is right. Maybe everybody has that difficulty, but I certainly know that I do. Okay. So now at least we can keep track of which foot is which, right? And that's the one that's closest to us. So there we go. All right, so it's been 22 minutes, and I think what I'll do is I'll stop the video, and then we'll do the ink and paint in a separate one.